Hello YouTube, this is Matt Young. I got a Bible review for you. Today we're going to be doing the English Standard Version, Study Bible. So one of the things I love about study Bibles in general is that they give you a sense of deep informed Bible reading. So if you don't have access to commentaries or the original languages or anything like that, anything too fancy, proper English. You have introductions, in commentary notes, and so we're not going to be talking about the quality of the notes right now. We're going to be talking about the physical appearance of this book, and then I'll briefly say something about the notes towards the end. So the first thing we're going to be doing the review on this genuine leather version of the ESV Study Bible, and this is the new updated version. They recently updated the formatting, so I have my wife's 2011 Study Bible that she got when she was a small group leader for a group of middle school girls from a church. They gifted this to her. And so to compare some of the binding differences between the two, give you an idea if you'd like to update or not. So first things first, we're going to start with this bad boy. Okay. So it doesn't come with these gold ribbons. I did that personally, which is a pretty easy thing. So I hope this doesn't void warranty. In order to keep from doing that, as you can see, I come on the back side of the headband. I don't open the headband, I don't open the binding or do any of that stuff. So this is genuine leather. So as you can see, it's a printed texture over the top of the the pig skin, which actually it's not coated with anything like Crossway used to do. It's fairly flexible, which is really nice. You can actually roll this up, if you were really fixing to, and it'd roll back, kinda. Because remember, it's genuine leather. So that being said, you have this liner here. It's a synthetic liner that goes down to paste down. One of the things about paste down is you can kind of see this tab right here. That's connected directly to the back side of the binding right here. And so that's connected and it goes in, and so that's how this text block actually stays connected to this, because there's no tab holding the book block in, just with this page here. So that's how that works. Okay. You flip through a little bit. You can see it's Smythe sewn. You can see the stitching right here on this first signature of thicker paper, much more clearly there, obviously. Lots of room for notes and stuff. And then you'll see we're going to flip. Come on. If I can flip. That's really the question here right now, is can I even? And I can. Alrighty. So as you can see, if it'll focus, boom. Did that focus? It is focused, kind of. Okay. It is the 2016 text edition. It's printed in China. Now, there's no information. I've read through this, so just trust me on this. There's nothing in here that would indicate that anything really is different about this text block, except for right here. All right, so your typeface is the same. Your paper is different. The binding is Smythe sewn, and then where it's printed, I believe, is different as well. So if we take this old school, not really too old school, you can see the difference there. The paper is different. It comes from a different place. It is printed and bound by the same group of people, but it also has the same typefaces, which is great. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to notice that's different. What is different kind of initially about this paper is that it doesn't feel coated. It just feels like regular uncoated Bible paper. It's a little more rough and everything. So you've got several, we don't have time to go through all the contents. You got several articles in the front, including how to use this Bible, and a good introduction that lets you know kind of the theological underpinnings of this study Bible. They're generally Reformed. They like to say that they're within the historic Reformed tradition. So just know that that's kind of the, if there's a quote-unquote theological bias, that's where it's going to go, which I personally am fine with, being ordained Presbyterian. So I'm fine with that. You got your English Standard Version preface. You got your overview of salvation history. Old Testament, okay? Theology of the Old Testament, dates of the Exodus, introduction to the Pentateuch. Just trying to get to Genesis. That's all I'm trying to do here. Okay, this is our introduction to Genesis. So you can see you've got double columns on the introduction. It's still 9-point font, but you got double columns, okay? And this can be a little confusing sometimes. What you see is you might be reading and you might be thinking to keep going, but no, you have to read a little bit and then jump up here and keep reading, all right? So this is different. Can I even flip? Yes. Okay, so this is the same exact introduction. There's nothing wording-wise different on this new formatting than this, okay? The only difference, it is single column. It's still 9-point font. You have the exact same content, but it is single column. And I think the reason why they did this is that this is a lot easier to read. A 9-point font in double columns is a lot easier to read than single column. I've looked at it. It's the exact same page count, ironically. So this formatting change does nothing. Okay, so you flip to your first page of Genesis. Let's just flip. Okay, you get lots of pictures. One thing, okay, hobby horse. One thing that I absolutely love about the pictures in the ESV Study Bible is they happen down in the notes. This is a huge frustration I have, and it's so superficial. Talk about first world problems, but I hate it when the pictures actually end up in the text, and then you kind of have to juxtapose the text and shove it over in order for the picture to fit. I don't like that. I'd much prefer it be down here and just let the text be the text. Let there be some separation there. So that doesn't happen anywhere. Watch, I'm going to flip it. Nope, okay, it's still in the note section. But that doesn't happen anywhere throughout the ESV Study Bible. You'll never find a picture kind of up here pushing the text over. It's all very consistent with where it is. All right, between the text and the notes. So here's the big difference. So we're going to flip Genesis 13. This is just formatting difference, okay? Sorry about this. Okay, so formatting-wise. There we go. Okay, these two pages, they have the exact same layout, exact same content. The difference is that this genuine leather one, the new updated format, does not have these lines right here. And it's really hard to tell, but if you can see in this older version, that's like a tan. It's a brown tan color for the section heading chapters. And you come over here and you've got different section heading font and a different color, and actually a different font for the chapter headings, okay? So that's going to be your big formatting difference, okay? So you can go through this page per page. It is the exact same, okay? You're not going to have any content differences. All that's different in this older edition is the paper is slightly more, I think it might actually be slightly more opaque than this version, the newer paper. It feels a little thinner to me for some reason. Well, actually, just kidding. This feels thinner, but it's coated. And so that might have something to do. It's still 30 GSM. So you're still getting something that's kind of above standard, 28 GSM thin line paper type deal, okay? Another difference between this version and this version. This version is actually slightly thinner. Same page count, slightly thinner, slightly thicker, but here's another huge difference. I don't know if you noticed, this one was printed in China. Okay? Printed in China. This one, this older edition, is printed in the United States. And here's something I've noticed with Crossway's printing of things in the USA. When you break this down, you open it up, that binding stays mega flat. That thing is not there's nothing about that. Sorry, this room is being painted. That thing is not bending very much for how heavy this book really is, okay? Doesn't bend at all. This, on the other hand, folds over like I don't even have anything to compare it to. It is floppy. As you can see in that binding, it splits right in the middle, and that happens on every single page. And this is done, I think, so that no matter what, it will always open flat. All right, so you'll have it bend all around, which is totally fine. Because really, I mean, I think the publishers at Crossway recognize no one's holding this for preaching. This book is almost 5 pounds. That's like lifting weights while you're preaching, which there are already enough distractions while you're preaching, let alone having to carry a 5-pound weight with you for anywhere between 25 and 45 minutes, depending on what church you're at. This is a really great resource to have. I really like it. It's one of the first kind of notes that I go to just to make sure that my own hermeneutics, the way that I'm reading the Bible, interpreting the Bible is at least kind of in the same ballpark. I might disagree with maybe some of the content of the notes than some of these guys, but the reality is that as long as you're within the ballpark, you're probably doing all right. Don't quote me on that. You have a nice gilt line around here. That's a really nice touch that you have. But overall, all in all, this really is, if you do not have a study Bible, the ESV Study Bible is a great addition to your personal library. And I think that people should get this, just not only for that, but what makes the ESV Study Bible distinct is that you have all of these essays in the back. Okay, so you have essays. Do they have? Okay. I mean, you have over 100 pages here of articles and everything. It really is phenomenal. So you have an entire section here of articles and resources, okay? You got that much. That's a lot, okay? But everything that's covering like God's plan of salvation, overview of the Bible, biblical ethics as an overview covering topics like divorce and stuff like that. That was just the first one that I actually read on the page. That's not the only one that it has. Reading the Bible, how do you read it as literature for preaching and worship, etc. How did the canon become formed? How the New Testament become formed? Tell me about the original languages. You get Greek and Hebrew in there. Tell me about the Old Testament, Greek translation, the Septuagint, or however you personally pronounce that word, Septuagint, as I've heard it called. How the Old Testament quotes how the New Testament quotes the Old Testament, world religions in the Bible. I mean, this Bible is a really great kind of first glance resource. Kind of if you're on the go or you don't have the availability to dive deeper into commentaries and other books. So go pick yourself one of these up. I got this from Crossway just in exchange for an honest review. So pick this up. You can get it at Amazon or Christian Books or Crossway themselves. So anyways, hope you have a good one. Have a good one. Bye.